Good morning and happy Monday morning to you at the time of recording this. It is 10 a.m. It's either 10 a.m., 2 p.m. or 10 p.m. or there or thereabouts. And on this Monday, I'm coming to you at 10 a.m. Now, I appreciate that Monday morning is the day that's most associated with jumping in, getting stuff done, catching up with things. What have you missed over the weekend if you're not working at weekends and all of that kind of stuff. But today I wanted to talk about the 5 best ways for more genuine engagement. Now, it's fair to say that a majority of us, especially if we are online in some way, maybe we've got a website, and maybe we're on social media, maybe you're on all the social media, one of the social media, none of the social media. When I talk about engagement, I'm talking about human connection. I'm not talking about trying to get people to look at your stuff. I'm not talking about trying to beat algorithms or boost algorithms. I'm not talking about going viral. I'm not talking about having loads of likes and shares. I'm not talking about dissing somebody online so that you look better. I'm not talking about clickbait. All of those ways, of course, you can get engagement, but the Visibility Vibes, the system that I created, got to do this the right way there, is all about genuine, authentic connection, not cringeworthy connection. And the reason that I start off kind of almost defining that is because if you are looking just to go viral, just for clickbait, just for people to see your stuff, whether you know them or not, it's like the sentiment behind it is all off. I use this example quite a lot. It's a bit like dating. Would you rather know that the person who is showing interest in you is genuinely at least interested or intrigued and wants to find out more? Or would you rather haul them through the front door, and force them to find out more about you and tell them that you are the one for them? It's all about the sentiment. It's all about where you're coming from. So on this video today, I'm going to talk about 5 of the best ways to increase genuine engagement, not just engagement. I could give you, 101 different things to do. Some of you will do one of them. Some of you will try to do all of them, but most of you would probably do none of them. So these are things that come up a lot in client conversations or people that are feeling somehow frustrated with visibility, and especially this season where people are thinking that visibility equates to social media, and that's not necessarily true. Your work, yourself, your brand, your message, your ethos can be highly visible, and you don't even have to be online. And there's a whole stack of celebrities, of actual real life influencers, of people that don't have a social media presence, or people that don't particularly use it, who are doing very well in terms of engagement, in terms of connection, in terms of reaching out and putting themselves out in the world. So just before I get started with these 5, just to let you know, if you end up watching this on the Monday, the 29th, I think it is today, of July, I'm very excited because tomorrow you're going to get to meet a lovely woman called Gwen Baird, or Gwen Baird. I don't know how you pronounce that with her gorgeous accent, but you're going to meet her tomorrow. She's got a phenomenal purpose in the world and is doing some really great things. So I can't wait for you to meet her. So after this live, I will make sure that the live for tomorrow gets set up so you can put it in your diaries. I think we're going at 10 o'clock. It's either 10 or 2, but I'll put it in here. And if you see it pop up, definitely add it to your diary. It's definitely worth taking out like just 15, 20 minutes to have a watch, because she is really doing some lovely stuff in the world. And as you know, visibility to me is about shouting out the people that I get to see more close up, that I sometimes work with more personally, and also the people that are doing good with their visibility in the world too. So 5 ways for more genuine engagement. Way 1, and this is the way that most people miss the opportunity. it doesn't matter the situation or the circumstances. There'll be a point where it's almost like your call to action, your question for somebody else will be either come and connect with me, let's stay in touch, or it could be an online thing. So I'm at the moment streaming to LinkedIn, so it could be literally connect with me here on LinkedIn, become a connection. I'm also streaming on YouTube, which is at Jenny Kovacs. You'll find me easily there. And that could be I really like what you said, or do you know what? You've made me think about something in a different way, or I've encountered this and this is what happened to me. Thought it would be useful to share. And then also on Facebook, my Facebook page, which is Jenny Kovacs, the Queen of Being Seen, easily found by typing in @visibility, as spelt there, not visability. Some people spell it visability. That's not spelt that way. Visibility Vibe without the S. And you'll find me there. And anywhere you find me online, please do connect with me. I'll be talking about that as one of the things of the 5 here. So the first thing is, when people often reach out to connect, they often say things like, connect with me, go look at my post, I'd like some support on this. But they very rarely tell people why. Now, it's interesting because, you know, perfect strangers, and I get this like all day, every day. Do you know how many times a day I get a message from a random stranger across all social media platforms, and occasionally in my inbox, cheeky beggars, and they'll say, oh, I've just put out this post and spoken about this, go take a look at it. And the first question in mine and most people's heads are, why? Now, the answer to this question isn't, oh, because we've met before at a networking event, or because I know you, or because you know one of my clients, or even, oh, because you commented on something, or, and this has been said too, because you're my most ideal client. It might be the reason that you have in your head, but that's not going to compel somebody to connect with you or to engage with you or to read your blog or to watch your videos or anything else like that. So the biggest and like almost most important out of all of these is way number 1 is let people know why they should connect with you. And then also, once they're connected, that's not a given. If you want them to go and read a post that you've just put out, and this typically happens a lot more on LinkedIn than any of the other platforms that I'm on, where people will post something and then they'll send you a private message with a link to the post. Often they'll just do that and you're like, what's happening? What's happened? Other times they'll say, go and take a look. Again, no explanation. And sometimes they'll say, I could really use your support. Now, don't get me wrong. I am up for supporting people wherever I can. But when you jump into somebody's inbox and demand they go and look at something, it's not going to serve them and it's not going to serve you, because quite frankly, they don't know why, they don't understand why. And ultimately, they don't know what to do with it. So get used to, if you're going to share something in that way, say, I don't know, I've just written this post and I don't know, whatever the reason is really. I'm not going to tell you a reason because it will be different for everybody. So I actually don't use this as a strategy, as a technique. And I know, so I've got a very froggy throat today. And I know that some people teach it. So what I would suggest is, if you have been taught this by somebody, rather than asking me, well, why is that? Ask the person who's taught you. It's not something that I teach, if that makes sense. You'd be amazed how many people say, I've got a question for you, Jenny. I read somewhere that, or I learned from somebody, or somebody told me ABC. Why is that? I don't know. I didn't teach it to you. And I'm a person that stays in my own lane. So if I know something, I'll share it with you. And if I don't, I'll say hands up. I don't know. Go ask them. Or I normally say, oh, so what did they say when you asked them? Oh, no. Oh, I haven't. I just wondered. So way number 1 is let people know why. And you can break down the whys, as in let them know why to look at the thing that you're suggesting they look at, or go to the place to go to, or connect with you. Let them know why them. What is it about them that would enjoy what you're watching? What is it about you that might be useful or beneficial to them? But the one that people forget the most is the topic. Why this topic? So this came up recently for me, where a school friend shared something and tagged me in. And interestingly, they said, this is a thing that happened. I remember this. It made me laugh. Jenny, do you remember this too? I think you know this person as well from school. So it made sense. I knew why me, why they wanted me to look at it. Although they didn't even ask, they tagged, so they weren't even saying go look at it. And I understood kind of why I was looking at it, why they had thought, I'd love you to look at it. So they went through everything there. And they actually also, I understood why the sentiment behind the post too. So it's really important to include those when you're getting people alongside you. It's not enough to presume or assume, well, I'm connected with you, so you should go and look at it anyway. And on a platform like Facebook, like LinkedIn, many people who are growing their audiences and having more people surrounding themselves, I hope with more people that love and like what they do. It's a very crowded marketplace. So if you've got all of these people vying for your attention, just because they're connected doesn't mean that they have to love you, doesn't mean that they have to like your post, doesn't mean that they have to engage with you. Every time you ask the question, it's almost like you don't know them, even if you think you do. Okay, so really, really important, most important point. Second way to engage, and the others I'm probably not going to go so deeply in, but the second way to engage, it depends on who you are. Now, if you are an employed professional and you know that you're on a career track, the people to engage with are the audience around you. And by that, I mean people who, maybe it's a recruiter or headhunters or something like that. Maybe it's the industry. If you think of the industry as an entity, perhaps you're looking to, let me give a shout out to the International Compliance Association, who over the years I've spoken at, I've provided content for their training and learning portal. So if I am looking to speak to more people, let's say I'm an employed professional in the compliance and risk and all of that kind of thing, anti-money laundering. If I am working within that kind of industry, my audience are the Compliance Association. Even though they're not a person, them, the people that they associate with, the people that they connect with. So they are the people that maybe I'm looking for a new position or new role. So that's where I'm going to find my people, if that makes sense. So they are my audience. Okay, I'm not talking about standing on stages necessarily, although of course they're your audience that you're speaking to. If you're a business owner or a founder or freelance or some way self-employed, your audience are the people that you like working with the most, the people that you can add the most value to. I've heard people say, oh, you're my ideal client, you're low-hanging fruit. It's a really derogatory way to address people. And all they hear is, you're easy pickings, I want you. That's not really a great way to genuinely connect with somebody. So your audience are the people around you who might be looking for what you do or looking at what you do, or you might be looking to get deeper into that industry too. Thing number 3 is the business that you have. Now, this is an interesting one for me. It feels so obvious that I don't often say this. But if you're a big fan of Oprah and you like how she speaks to people in the world, or you're a big fan of maybe, I see this a lot in the personal development industry, coaches that you admire, just because they go and connect with people in a certain way, don't automatically assume that that will be identical for you. And the reason I say this is, in order to form genuine connection, all of these people, Oprah, Richard Branson, all these different people have found their own kind of almost like their own genuine and authentic way in which they like to connect. And they found value in connecting, and the people who are connected with them found value in them too. That's the place to go from. So do be very vigilant of your business. So interestingly, when I do stuff within the corporate sector, when I go into companies, sometimes I work with boards and exec teams. Often I work with teams in general, because the company want them to be able to increase their visibility, raise the profile of the company and their products and services. I am not going to go in and teach them a TikTok strategy of dancing and pointing at the camera. Why? Because it's not a good fit for the thing that they do. So sometimes people see something, they love it, and they go, oh my gosh, I'm going to do that too. And what happens is they go down a slight rabbit hole of really trying to engage people based on something that isn't true for their business or isn't true for the business environment they're in. It just isn't true. And if it isn't true for you, when you show up and do it, it's just not going to make much sense. Sometimes I'll sit here and I'll stream and run master classes or do videos. Other times I'll be out in the street, walking down the street, speaking to you, recording something, recollecting something. Yesterday was the weekend at the time of recording this, and I was out with friends for the weekend. In order for me to produce that very short video, it didn't feel intrusive to them. It didn't feel intrusive for me. It didn't feel intrusive for anyone. It fits the kind of business that I personally have and the way that I can best connect with people out there in the world too. But that's not going to be for everyone. So get to know who you are, who your business is, what your business is about, or the business environment you're in, and have it be a good match for you. There are so many different ways out there that you can connect. There is no right or wrong, just a really good way to reach the people that you're trying to reach. And that's why a majority of people come and work with me. They're smart, they're savvy, they're intelligent, they know how to do it, but they're just not sure which is going to be the best way or what's going to align to their strategy. Okay, and this is important. Just praying and spraying out into the wind doesn't really do a lot either. So that's another thing to consider. Thing number, one, two, three, four. Yeah, thing number 4 is work out how you want to show up. So I was having this conversation with somebody I know really well recently. Are you showing up to increase your audience numbers? Are you showing up to increase business? Are you showing up to demonstrate your credibility? Are you demonstrating what you know, or are you allowing people to say, this is what I know that can help you? Which way is it from? Is it all about you, or is it about them? Is it a mixture of any of those things? And that's why in the Visibility Vibe system, under the first pillar, one of the things I talk about is vision, because if you don't know which way you're navigating towards or which way you're going to, it makes it really, really difficult to show up, to be visible, to know where to show up, to know how best to show up, to know what is authentic and genuine to you and to them, what connects you, what repels people, and all of those sorts of things. So quite often I will go through that. And it's interesting because, sometimes I've worked with clients privately and they've almost rejected the idea. Now, there's a reason they do that. They're not being difficult clients or anything else like that. But usually they've bumped up against something internally. And I like to be there to help them navigate through that for whatever comes up. And sometimes it's a surprise to people. Whereas when you watch a video like this, you're smart, you're savvy, you'll take notes, maybe you'll go out and implement some of the things, you'll put it on your checklist. But if you bump up against something, or even worse, it's in your blind spot and you can't see it, I can't do anything to help you because I can't see you. I don't know it's going on. And also because we're not working together, no contract or anything in place, I don't actually have permission to coach you, prod you, guide you, tell you what to do, ask you to stop doing this or whatever. So really, really important way. Know what you're demonstrating. And when you're demonstrating credibility, it can't always just be about you. It needs to be about what's going to serve the people that you aspire to work with more or have buy your products, services, or the thing that you do. And then the last one, And it's interesting because I have recently, which is interesting, people are saying it's July, it's the summer holidays, people are winding down, things have got quieter. I've noticed more specifically on LinkedIn, to be fair, I'm most active, I think, on LinkedIn and Facebook, but I've noticed on there an influx of people wanting to connect with me. So if you're one of them and you're watching this, thank you. I really appreciate it. And I really value you, what you do. And because I value you, I will always ask, and you'll notice on these videos, I always say, you know, on LinkedIn, don't follow me, connect with me. Now, why do I say that? When you follow me, you get to see the stuff that I post, the stuff that I share, which is great, but it's very one-sided. I can't reach you. I don't mean I'm going to start sending you private messages and start sending you, here's my Facebook group or anything else like that. When we connect on LinkedIn, it becomes a two-way street. I get to see the things that you share. You get to see the things that I share. I can easily find you. Now, there are some instances where people have got like tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions of connections, and there'll be a limit at some point where they just can't connect with anyone. And nor might they want to. So I understand that. So next time you're on a platform like LinkedIn and you see somebody and you see their profile or you see something they've posted and you think, oh, I want to have a little nose at what they do. In my world, you don't even need to send a message. And something I learned from the lovely Helen Tudor, you don't even need to send a message. Just connect with them. And what you'll find is you'll go onto their profile. Sometimes the only option it will give you is to follow, but there's the magic 3 dots. Always on any social media platform, look for those 3 dots because those 3 dots give you more options. Even as I stream to you on StreamYard, I have 3 dots on the top right-hand side of my dashboard that don't actually go across horizontally. They go vertically. Click on the 3 dots and it should give you the option to connect there if you can't see it. And when you connect with somebody, then you get to see them, they get to see you. Don't use this, though, to start sending them spammy-pammy messages because nobody needs that. That's not a genuine engagement. It feels really forced. Often you don't know the person, they don't know you. It just feels a bit awkward. And to be honest with you, when I'm greeted with people, and this is what's so funny, I often send connection requests to people. Again, no message. They accept the connection request. What I tend to do is I'll go and have a look at what they share publicly. But what has sometimes happened is within sometimes minutes, often hours, and very often days, they'll send you a really long message. Oh, thank you so much for connecting with me. And it's like, oh, well, actually, I was connecting with you. Thank you for connecting with me. Here's a link to my website. Here's an organization that I'm involved in. We must collaborate, or you must come to my event, or I'm hosting this thing online. And I just go, oh my gosh, but I don't even know you yet. I want to get to know you. And the way I want to get to know you isn't by struggling to get through. You know, imagine this. I think I'm at about 8,000, just over 8,000 connections on LinkedIn, trying to get through that number of messages because people want to get to know you or they want an online coffee with you or something like that is really difficult. I would rather see what they share. And what I think is actually sad is that a number of people that send messages like that, when I go and look at what they've shared publicly, they haven't posted for like 7 or 8 months. So rather than doing it privately behind closed doors like that, share what you do publicly. Share what you do, why you do it, why the people that you love working with or sharing to would love it so much. And, you know, talk and humanize what you do. So that's it for today. A bit of a mini masterclass for Monday. Tomorrow you're going to meet Gwen. And for the rest of this week, I'm going to be talking about all things visibility and things that you can do too. If this is a long one for you, sit down, take some time, watch it back, speed it up if you want to. And if you do that on YouTube, you can speed it up so it's a little bit quicker for you. But I promise you, this will be a good use of 25 minutes because I've designed it that way so that you can really dig deeper into these elements. And remember, if there's something that you want me to speak about on a future one of these 365 days of videos or lives, let me know. Send me a message and say, would you talk about this? And I'll be happy to. That's it. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for commenting. Thank you for sharing. And if you are watching it back, just type #vibes so that I know. Bye for now.